What's up guys, CJ from Team Millennium Ninja here, back with a short little video this time around. I just watched the first episode of the brand new Tenchi Muyo OVA series, Tenchi Muyo GXP Paradise Starting, and I figured I'd share my initial thoughts on it with you guys. Now once the rest of the episodes do come out, I do plan on making a longer form video discussing the series as a whole, but for now let's talk about the first episode, which continues in the tradition of the modern Tenchi OVAs and requiring you to read a Wikipedia article to understand who or what the characters in the series are, unless you've been living and breathing Tenchi for the last decade or so. The good news though is that if you already did that for OVAs 4 and 5, you're pretty much set here. The bad news for this series though is that unlike my hopes that it would adapt the Rinza portion of the GXP light novels, instead it seems to be adapting the Paradise War light novels, which is significantly less interesting to me, with it dropping us into things right after the Rinza portion of the light novels, which are looking less and less likely for an adaptation the more OVA series that we get. And honestly, not a lot really happens in this episode. It's mostly just a big exposition dump to set up events for the rest of the series, as well as to reintroduce Seina and the rest of the extended Tenchiverse cast that will be populating the series, which does not include best girl Ryoko Balta, by the way, so minus points already. I also didn't really like the amount of focus this episode gave to the romantic tension between Seina and Tsukiko, who, if you didn't know, is Kiriko from GXP's mom, for obvious reasons, but it's Tenchi Muyo, so it's not like I really expected much better. I also kind of liked and kind of didn't like the fleshing out of Seina's backstory, as on one hand it really meshes with everything we knew in GXP, but on the other hand, it's just kind of a shitty thing to say to somebody, right? And I honestly felt really bad for Seina for most of this episode, which I assume was the writer's intent, and if so, they hit their mark pretty well. But stuff like Seina not being allowed to see his family because of his bad luck just seemed kind of mean-spirited, especially when he doesn't demonstrate any of those old traits in the episode to begin with, and also the fact that his family could have just come seen him like Kai did. But I know at the end of the day, it's just a way to put Seina in the situation where he has to go live with Tsukiko in a relatively comedic manner. I just didn't care for either of those things. And that's really all there is to talk about in this episode, besides the exposition, which isn't relevant yet, and also characters recapping stuff from previous series, like Tenchi explaining to Seina their plan with Kenshi, which we saw come to fruition in OVA 5, as well as some stuff from GXP, which is honestly probably a little bit more warranted considering it's over 2 decades old at this point. But all in all, I wasn't really too big a fan of this first episode. Hopefully once we get into the plot of things, the series will improve dramatically, but I guess we'll just have to wait until then to see. And while you guys are waiting, make sure to let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know if you want me to do more videos like this on the future episodes. Also, come join my brand new Discord server, The Village Hidden in the Internet, where we can discuss this series and everything else that I cover on the channel a bit more in depth. As well, I want to start doing watch-alongs of the stuff that I cover on the channel with you guys, and that's the best place to do it. So make sure to check that out. The link will be in the description, and you might as well subscribe while you're down there.